We'll call the meeting to order of the Winslow Town Council, January 13th, 2020. My name is Ray Karen. Glad to have everybody here today in the council to welcome to the meeting. First order of business for today is order number 1, 2020, providing for the designation of Municipal Development and Tax Increment Financing District, ITAC, project and adoption of related developmental program. This is a public hearing for that. For those of you who want just a really quick explanation, that is on the Augusta Road, standard waterproofing is applying for this tax increment financing district. It's about, I think it's a couple acres, right, Mike? 3 acres?
3 acres.
Yeah, 3.09, okay. And so they're asking for that. I think the value of the building would be about $1.2 million and employ about 60 people at the highlight. So very great to have the businesses coming in, and this is to form that TIF area. If there's any public comment, anybody is welcome to come up to the microphone, state their name, and that would be great. Do we have anybody? Nobody? So we'll end the public hearing portion of this. So, regular council meeting roll call, please.
Oops, hold right on there. Jeff West.
Yes.
Steve Russell.
Yes.
Patricia West.
Yes.
Lee Trahan.
Yes.
Jerry Quirian. Ben Twitchell. And Ray Karen.
Yes. Okay. Recite the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of the minutes of the previous meetings, December 9th, 2019, and January 2nd, 2020.
Second.
All those in favor? All those opposed? All passes unanimous. Okay. Communications, but now is board and community appointments, and we have the attachment here. And we have a motion for appointment to the Agricultural Commission. We have one applicant, Ellery Clean for Ellery.
Move that we appoint Ellery to the
Second.
Agricultural Commission.
All those in favor? Opposed? Unanimous. Motion for appointment to Park and Recreation Committee.
I move we appoint Judy Bouchard and Chad Bell to the Parks and Rec Committee.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Unanimous. Motion for appointment to Personnel Appeals Board.
Phil,
Second.
I think it's 3 of them.
There's 3 names.
Yeah.
3
3
names.
vacancies and 3 applications. Roy Strahan and Debbie Love.
Lavoy?
Lavoy.
Lavoy.
Yeah.
And Phil St. Ange.
Yeah.
So,
That's the motion.
yep.
Yeah, second.
Any discussion? All those approve, raise your right hand. All those opposed, passes unanimous. Motion for appointment to the Personnel Appeals Board. Oh, that's what we just did. Sorry about
That's
that.
right.
Planning Board.
Motion for the appointment to the Planning Board. We have actually now 4, there's 1 position, and there's now 4 applicants. Lynn Scho, Rodney Cloutier, Phil St. Ange, and
James.
Any of them here?
James. Yep. Yes. Go ahead, Steve.
Since there's multiple people applying for the position, if they're here in the audience, I'd like to hear from them if they want to come up.
Is anybody here in the audience? Would you like to come up?
Any questions?
If Phil, if you could state your name and, you know.
Phil St. Ange, Smiley Avenue, Winslow, Maine.
Yeah.
Does anyone have any questions?
If you want to just give a little background, Phil, of like your experience for the.
Yeah, I've lived here all my life, and I'd like to help the town and from the inside rather than the outside. and see if my skill set can be adapted to what you folks need.
Yeah.
And as I said earlier, if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask. Yes, Steve?
Just so you're aware, you've applied for 3 boards on your application, and 2 of them, you're the only one that applied. So probably you're gonna be appointed, and you've already been appointed to one of them. You're probably gonna be appointed to 2 out of the 3 you applied for at least, and then this is your 3rd one, so.
Well-
I just wanted to make you aware that.
Yeah, the reason I did that was I just felt as though I used to be a principal, assistant principal, and I worked for the MPA, and when they send out what committees you want to be on, I would always say whatever
Right.
you need me. So I would leave it up to you. I think the planning board would be the one that I would like the most.
Yeah.
I think that's probably where I'd be most valuable. However, it's the will of the council, wherever you guys, feel.
Well, we do appreciate so many people applying, because
Yeah.
a lot of times they go empty.
I understand.
Nobody applies, so it's
Well-
kinda nice to have 4 applying for
Yeah,
such
I
an
would,
important position.
I suppose if I had known that, I probably would have just put in for the planning board,
Sure,
but
sure.
again,
Yeah,
it's not, it's whatever helps you folks
Yep,
at this
well, we
point.
appreciate your wanting to serve.
Any other
Thank you.
questions? Jerry, you don't have any questions? He's gonna sit in there.
Don't egg him on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The only thing probably with this one is reading the applications there are 4 really qualified people, and anybody that comes forward to serve on the boards here for the town of Winslow should be applauded for taking that step to want to become involved with the municipal government. It's a thankless task for some time, but very rewarding at times. So thank you for applying, for all the applicants for applying.
I make a motion to nominate Lynn Choate for the planning board.
I'll second that.
Any discussion?
I don't know her.
You don't know?
I've spoken to her.
You have?
I'm on the Winslow Youth Football Board with her.
Okay.
Yep, she's active in the community. So.
Are we gonna vote on this?
Well, if there's, I would nominate Phil St. Ange for the position.
I'll
And I
second
would,
that.
I would second that.
Okay. So, anybody, there's 2 people that haven't been nominated for the positions, so, so I think we would vote on the people that have been nominated for the positions. So we have 2 nominations right now, Lynn and Phil St. Ange for those positions. So any other further discussion regarding those 2 people?
Are we gonna vote on this?
I'll just bring one name, see how many
One
vote,
name,
and the other
and
one, see how many
then
vote.
So let's vote on Lynn Choate. All those in favor of approving Lynn Choate to the planning board, please raise your right hand. All those, Phil St. Ange, all those, that was how many? What did we get?
That was 4.
That was 4, so that's, Lynn would be the person on the planning board at this time.
Who nominated St. Ange? You did.
I did.
Were you raising your hand for Lynn Choate, or were you just?
I raised my hand for Lynn Choate,
Okay, I just wanted
but
to
I wanted
verify.
Phil to have a chance to be on the planning board. Yeah,
Okay, very good.
yeah. Motion for appointment to zoning board of appeals.
So move. Second.
For Phil, correct?
For Phil, right?
All those in favor? Moving on, reports of committees and commissions, town managers report.
Mr. Chairman, I have 2 things. So we went out to bids, as you know, last Friday on the turning lane project. We had estimated the cost to be about $380,000. I'm happy to say that the bids, or the low bidder, came in at $321,845. And if you add a 10% contingency to that, we're looking at approximate cost for the project of about $354,000. So it appears it's gonna come in under budget, which is good news, especially in this day and age with, as you know, other communities of projects have come in over budget, are higher than anticipated. So I think we got lucky in that regard. Any questions about that,
Who's the successful bidder?
Mantor?
And we got a grant, right?
Yes, we have a $300,000 grant.
How does that work, Mike? Truth is here. If you get $300,000 grant and it's a $320,000 job, we only have to come up with 20,000?
No, it's a percentage. So, and I think our share is about 20%. So, if, you know, obviously if we spend less than the 300,000 for the grant money, we're gonna put in well under the 80,000 that we had anticipated.
So are we gonna use the $300,000 first, or?
No,
Okay.
no, it doesn't work that way. We, you know, we have to pay our share up front.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
That's federal funds.
yes. The other item I,
Before you go,
yep,
what happens to the rest of those federal funds if we don't use them all?
it'll go back to the NBRC. Because we can't repurpose it for another project. The other item I had is Orion Rope Works. As you know, we had a deadline of January 1st for a purchase and sale agreement. I did hear from them. They're not going to move forward with purchasing the property. So we have to make a decision on whether we want to put the property out on the market, whether we want to work with a broker or realtor. So if the council would like, for the next council meeting, I can come back with some options that we would have in terms of putting the property on the market.
Please do.
Okay.
How much longer is their lease? Their rental agreement or whatever was
Yeah,
that?
2022,
So if we sell it, the buyer has to honor that?
correct. Correct.
And how much are we collecting from them yearly? Do you remember?
I don't know.
A round number?
Enough to make the payment.
Just,
It's a couple $100,000 that we're collecting.
so it wouldn't kill us if we didn't sell it right off?
Correct. Correct. So I will do that for the next council meeting. I'll come back with some options. That's all I had, Mr. Chairman.
Chairman,
Yes.
through the chair, go back to the turning lane.
Yes.
Can we request, the federal government to use that money, what's left over, for something else? Would they honor that? I'm just wondering.
No,
No?
no, it's the nature of the grant itself.
Yeah.
There's no provisions, at least that I've seen, and yeah, and Garvin, who's here, actually helped us write the grant and did a good part on the grant. And no, we can't try to repurpose it for
I'm
some
just
other
asking.
purpose.
Yes.
Is that money the share we're gonna pay, is that coming out of our TIF accounts? Can we use the TIF money for that turning lane?
No.
That was in the
We
budget.
already had that set aside then.
Yes.
That was in the budget.
It's gonna come out of our capital stream.
Yeah.
I'm all set.
All set? Yep, go ahead.
I just want to say, Ray and I attended the construction meeting for the school, where we sat down and went over kind of bullet points for what they discussed and what they have to work on, and we took a tour, and Peter was there, and it was a great meeting. It was very detailed, right down to like dollar figures, money that they were saving, change orders. So I liked it. I thought it was great. The next one, when's the next meeting?
27th, I
The
believe.
27th, yeah, it's in the library at the high school, and it was an awesome meeting, so that's all I have to say.
Department reports? The only thing I want to mention sometime on the department reports after reading them is that, like the fire department, the Winslow Park and Rec department, the police department, and all departments, did so much over the course of the Christmas season to, like, if you look at the Spirit of Giving tree, like you guys did, Amanda, and then the fire department, when you look at the fire department and the Operation Warm for coats and hats, and the Firemen Association, taking the giving tree at the credit union, taking all the tags in the association, and just making all those wishes come true. So I just want to say the departments are so much more than just servicing the citizens of the town, but they're also part of our community, and they make a big difference in giving of themselves and their time and their personal funds to enhance the children of the town of Winslow. And that was just great, and thank you for all you guys do, extra that you do for all the townspeople, all that.
Mr. Chairman, if I could also too point out, standard waterproofing is also pictured or depicted here, making
Yeah.
a
I
donation.
thought they looked familiar.
So thank you.
I wouldn't have noticed that, but I was looking right at it too. I said, something's familiar about this picture. But great, but thank you very much for that too. What a great addition to the town it's gonna be with the jobs and everything out there in that area. That's what we really want to promote, that's for sure. Yep, the Finance Committee report and the financial report.
Move to accept all reports from committees and commissions.
All those in favor? I think it's just, thank you. And table business, providing for the resolution number 25 dash,
That one is tabled.
that one's tabled,
Yep.
so we're not gonna bring it up.
Yep.
Okay, okay, all new business.
You wanna take it off?
Thank you. I might add, right now, it's my first time as chair, so things are a little bit,
No pressure.
a
We're all
little bit
staring at
roughy,
you.
but we'll get it, we'll catch on pretty quickly. Order, new business, order number 1-2020, providing for the designation of municipal development and tax increment financing district, ITAC project, and adoption of related developmental program.
So moved.
Second.
Second, discussion?
Mr. Chairman, Garvin is here.
Yeah.
Central Maine Growth Council.
Yeah.
Good evening, Garvin Ryan, Planning and Economic Development with Central Maine Growth Council. Good to see everybody this evening. If it's all right, thought maybe it'd be of interest to do just a quick thumbnail sketch. So, good evening, members of the public, councilors, chairman, and maybe as well just a general update. Pleased to be here this evening, of course, with the president of Standard Waterproofing, Director Thompson. Thank you so much. I know the weather wasn't great this evening. On the formation here of a new TIF district for ITAC Thompson Property Management LLC. That is the real estate holding company associated with this. Located at 1020 Augusta Road in Winslow. That's corresponding with map 1, lot 25A. And that is an approximately a 3.09 acre land parcel. This project is not only an important component of new business coming into the community for the town of Winslow, but really want to emphasize critically important from a retention and expansion perspective for the local and regional economy as well. And thank you to the municipality for all their hard work on this project. For folks that are new to Standard Waterproofing, Standard Waterproofing is a certified women's-owned business here in the community. It's a specialized company that performs a variety of commercial work as a subcontractor to general contractors. The commercial work is primarily concentrated on protecting structures from water damage, keeping the water out and thus preserving the structure of several facilities. Standard Waterproofing works on small, medium, and up to very large projects throughout the entire state of Maine, and offers at times work on projects in New England, including New Hampshire. Standard Waterproofing has really experienced, and I think congruent with an uptick in the economy, some real nice, consistent, and sustainable growth, which is really the result of needing this project. As folks know, this project is a representation of an investment via Standard Waterproofing of approximately over $232 million for the construction of a brand-new structure that we can now see, and will result in the creation or retention of approximately 60.5 jobs. The new structure has approximately 3,100 square foot of office space and approximately 6,000 square foot of warehouse space on the just over 3-acre parcel located on Route 201. Just to conclude, and of course answer any questions, as you know, the TIF district does look to be a 15-year TIF with a 75% CEA for the first 5 years, then getting stepped down to 50% for the next 5 years, and then step down and sunsetting at 25% for those remaining five-year term. Approximately the 15-year outlook will produce a project of bringing in $344,467 in additional new tax revenue to the municipality. If the terms remain, the TIF CEA is approved with that 75, 50, 25 percentages. $172,234 would be returned to ITAC, aka standard waterproofing. And the remainder, $172,233, would be the new tax revenue for the city over the next 15 years. And then, of course, after that would sunset tax revenue at 100% back to the municipality for hopefully a long and productive enjoyment of the business. Happy to answer any questions. Really thrilled on an interpersonal note to have the opportunity to work with Carissa and their team and watch them grow in Winslow now.
When would do you know when the construction would start and your estimate of completion of the project? You know?
We started the project last spring, and it is complete at this point. We're in the building.
Okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
All
We
right.
moved in September.
Yep.
I'm your representative, so if you need anything.
Thank you.
Can I maybe make a suggestion that you have an open house that we could come to?
Absolutely.
So we would be very glad to tour the facility and see how your operation is, so.
I would love to have you all there. I'll reach out to Mike.
Yeah, that would be great.
So you're doing a business after hours?
We are. This Wednesday, actually, the Mid-Maine Chamber of Commerce does business after hours for local businesses, and we were selected for January. So that starts at, I think it's 5 o'clock.
There you go, right?
Yes.
I'll be there.
5 to 7.
I will definitely be there. That would be great. Yeah,
Great.
yeah, great.
It's coming Wednesday,
This Wednesday, that's right. Yep.
so the 15th.
Correct. Yes. 5 to 7.
Yeah. Any other questions? And thank you for coming to
tour on that
Winslow.
same time,
Sure.
right? And open,
That's correct.
so we don't
Yeah.
really need to do
We don't,
initially.
unless the council would like to have a little separate one, that's
Well, I'll
fine
be out
too.
of town Wednesday.
Yeah, I'll be
so
out of town as
I
well.
won't be able to go, but
Yeah.
I'm happy to work with Mike and your team
Yeah.
and Standard Waterproofing if we want to do some sort of special get-together, and it just
Yeah,
is good
I
news
think-
to celebrate.
I think that would be a great thing. I think we always like to do those type of things and just, won't be like an after-hours thing, but it would be more of a less, like quick walkthrough and stuff like that would be great for the council.
That would be wonderful.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Good. And I do want to, if I, Mr. Chairman.
Oh, for sure.
Pat Garvin on the back, he did an outstanding job putting the TIF package together, so
Yeah.
thank you, Garvin.
Find us some more then.
Likewise, so
Yeah.
we're all ready for our next one.
Get
Now
us-
the hard work has begun, so really thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Get us more businesses.
Thank you.
Thank you. For sure. All right, this is gonna be a roll call vote.
Jeff West.
Yes.
Steve Russell.
Yes.
Patricia West.
Yes.
Lee Trahan.
Yes.
Jerry Kurian.
Yes.
Ben Twitchell.
Yes.
Ray Karen.
Yes. Resolution number 3-220, providing for a pole location permit, Central Maine Power Company and
So
OT
moved.
Second.
Communications. Any discussion? No discussion, roll call vote?
It is not roll call.
It's not roll call
Nope.
vote, okay. Oh, no, that means that's no roll call vote there, right? That's what that means?
Yes, it does.
Okay, okay. Steve, you got something?
No, I was voting.
Okay, okay. All those in favor? Go ahead. Yeah, the no, that's a dead giveaway there. Yeah. Resolution number 4-220, providing for the approval of adoption of the attached lease purchase resolution. Yes, that's for, that's the ladder truck, right, the ladder truck that we've, it's Quint, so.
Can I ask the chief if he has anything to say?
You can.
Do you have anything you'd like to add, chief? I didn't know if you had anything you'd like to say. Just want to make sure you have the opportunity.
Oh, I appreciate that, no.
Short and sweet, thank you.
You're welcome.
I don't want to jinx it. The itinerary, the
I think I'm
agenda.
losing control.
I am going out February, the week of February 23rd, to the factory to look at both vehicles, you know, the plans and sign off on the plans for both vehicles.
Yeah.
Are you taking anyone? Just going by yourself?
Captain Cap will be
Okay.
joining me.
And of course, just for public comment, obviously, could you go over a little bit about, we've had some issues with the chassis and stuff, what precautions we're taking on these new units to not get into the same situation we have with chassis rust and that type of stuff?
Sure, the previous vehicles had not had the undercoating annually done, and that was an action that I was putting forth as soon as I got here to try and sustain the life of the vehicles, and unfortunately, they were beyond serviceability. The new vehicles have galvanized frame rails, hot dip galvanized, and upon receipt, prior to winter wear, they will be, have the rust check undercoating done to prevent them, the effects of the salt treatments that get put on the road. So, I'm doing my diligence to make sure that we maintain our fleet.
What are you expecting for life expectancy of the Quint?
20 years.
20 years?
Which is what, in theory, what we will have got out of the current Quint
Right.
by the time it gets disposed of.
Chief, are you still looking at the undercarriage wash as well?
You have to have the room for it,
I understand.
but I would like to have that. It depends on what they require from the company that applies the undercoating. Some say once it's applied, don't do the spraying underneath. And the other issue is there is some depth. So the underspray, if you take it through a wash basin or whatever and it sprays, you still have the effects of the overspray getting up above that the undercarriage spray doesn't get to, and that's why the rust check treatment is necessary. That's kind of what happened with the current Quint, is that it got up
Right.
to where we couldn't get to treat and maintain.
What did we, through the chair, what did we decide to go on that lease agreement? We went to 7 years? We went 5 on the other one.
10 years,
We went 10 years?
yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any further questions or discussions? This is again a non-roll call vote. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed? Resolution number 5-220, a resolution regarding poverty hardship abatement request number 001-220.
Second.
Who was first?
Jeff.
Thank you.
I think it's just gonna be, again, a no roll call vote. We discussed this in executive session, so, at this point in time, all those in favor of the approving the abatement, please raise your right hand.
Of approving?
Of approving. All those opposed? The passage is defeated, 5-2. Resolution number 6-220, providing for the authorization for Town Council Chair Raymond Karen to sign the attached purchase of service agreement with the Maine Municipal Association to assist the Town Council with the search for a new town manager at a cost of $6,400. Any discussion? Go ahead, Steve.
There was some discussion, Mike, about the cost of that, and I was curious, is that cost all inclusive from beginning to end? Does it include advertising, professional journals and websites and stuff like that?
We pay separately for the advertising.
We do, okay.
Yeah. The fee is for them to provide assistance to the council through the process. They're gonna help you with deciding what type of candidate you're looking for. They're gonna come up with a score sheet. They're gonna help you with the questions, preparing the questions. They're gonna guide you through the interview process, then you'll score. And then they'll do the background on the top 2 candidates that are chosen. They'll verify the information that's put in their resume. And,
Well, it says right on there,
Yeah.
what they'll do.
Yep. I didn't know if it included the advertising.
no,
Do we have a committee to finding a new town manager? Do we
Not
have a
yet.
committee formed for that?
We do not.
We can just pretend it's not happening and just keep Mike forever.
yeah, Mr. Chairman, if I may.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so MMA will guide you through like the committee formation and structure and who should be on it and so forth. So all of that will be forthcoming.
Okay.
Do you think it would be beneficial? We tried to get actually MMA here tonight to discuss, their process and what they would give us, but he was unavailable to come. I think we want to start the process pretty quickly. I think if we wait, but what we can probably do is get them here, and then what would be the next step? They're going to assign, obviously, a person to work with us here, right? The MMA.
It'll be David Barrett.
David Barrett.
Yes.
So he would come in, and then he would meet with who initially?
The council.
The council.
And begin the process. And
Yeah. Would we wait till the next council meeting, or we have a special council meeting assigned with David to come in, David to come in, and we could get the process started earlier? Or
Yes.
how would that work?
Yes, I've given him our timeline, so he's aware of the timeline. I think he intends on reaching out to us sometime this month
Okay.
to begin the process.
So within the next 2 weeks, we will have a special council meeting?
Yes, hopefully
Okay.
At
sometime
least
this
have one
month.
scheduled, I would
Right,
assume.
yes.
Yeah. So he's gonna contact you, and then depending on our availability, you'll hold a special meeting,
Yes.
right? Okay. Because I don't think we shouldn't wait till, well, depends on the timing, I guess. If it's a week before the next council meeting, we would wait maybe for it needs to be a special council
Correct.
meeting, because we couldn't conduct business
Correct.
here during the regular meeting with those questions. But that special council meeting obviously would be open to the public too.
What do you mean?
Or would it, or,
Because all that is a discussion about how we're gonna set things up.
Yeah, my assumption would be is that would be open, as long as you're not talking about applicants themselves.
Right.
But the,
We're gonna have an applicant then.
the organization process would
yes,
be open
right.
to the public.
Okay. So that'll be in a special session,
Yeah.
hopefully.
Yeah.
Advertised like any other council meeting with, okay.
I'm interested in
be a-
serving on the committee. That's why I brought it up.
Me too.
I don't know how many counselors you would like and
I
what,
think they'll
how
give
the
us, I
committee
think
is
they'll
going
give us
to.
a guidelines of how many we should have. What's
Some from the town, one-
unworkable.
Yeah. Remember that the process in the end was you're gonna have like a whole bunch of applicants, and that committee is going to narrow down to a workable number for the entire council at that time to approve. So the initial committee will be, you know what I mean? the
Just like we did with
paring
the fire
down,
chief.
reviewing, which at any time, you know what I mean? Any counselor at any time in the process, I would imagine, could come in and observe the process, but not be a voting member of the process, but definitely could come in and have input into the process at any time, that I
We did
would
the
say.
same thing with the fire chief.
Right, right. And I know that the department heads also have a vested interest in
Yeah.
being involved into the process of determining their town manager that's coming in, since they're going to be actually working for the new town manager. So everybody wants to be part of that committee, and I think with MAA involved, that'll be a good thing to have some guidelines that we can work with to determine, the committee and stuff. So not looking forward to losing you.
We're all looking
But
forward to it.
looking forward to, and I mentioned to everybody, and Michael's been a great asset to the town, but people shouldn't be afraid of change. I think, if you look at the department heads that we have now, the process that works in the town council to get really what I consider the well-working department heads, that process is going to pick the next town manager. So I have extreme confidence in the judgment of the council, the judgment of the department heads, that we're going to be able to pick somebody that's going to have the interest of the town of Winslow and be able to work with everybody involved and stuff. It's a great town. I think it's very inviting for qualified people to apply for this position because of the nature of the town and the nature of how we do business here and the nature of the prudency of the council and past decisions. So I look forward to that process.
Put me down for that.
Put me down for that.
I haven't been on the hiring committee in a while.
Everybody,
Just wanna say.
Okay, so all those, I think now, we end discussion. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed, pass unanimous. I've lost my place totally.
That's it.
Public comment.
Okay.
I'm sure Peter has something to say.
Yeah, public comment?
Share some positive news with you. Trish, thank you for commenting on the building committee. She's absolutely right. She and Ray attended the last meeting that we had, and I stand corrected. Next construction meeting is the 29th, not the 27th. I was thinking of the school board meeting. So it's the 29th at 1 o'clock if anybody wants to join. If you go to one of these meetings now, you see some tremendous progress. It's starting to look like a building, which is pretty exciting. And knowing where we were and where we are today is a pretty good feeling as well. So we're moving along. Things are going exceptionally well. And Tricia is 100% right. Since the start of this, we've been meeting every 2 weeks with this crew, and it's been bang, bang, bang. We've been on top of it, and we've been on top of it, and it's doing a great job. I did want to bring to your attention, January 27th is a school board meeting. It's going to be a school board meeting where we do a presentation on MEAs and SAT results. Those of you who may have attended that meeting last year, this is where we talk about how our kids are doing with our assessments and how do they fare. What does that mean to us as an educational institute? What types of things do we need to be working on? How does that impact or not impact the budget? And so this is one of our first meetings, and we frame it with this information, and then we start moving into the budget season. The new finance assistant and myself have been meeting to look over to start looking at the different cost centers. The administrators are putting all of their information in. We look at the cost center, we meet with the building administrator to go over the cost center, and then we start bringing that to the school boards for their first look at things as well. So all of that work is currently taking place, and it's a very busy time of year. Something I want to mention to you that you don't often hear about, Mid-Maine Tech Center. We send students there. Of course, the Tech Center is connected to Waterville. We're the smallest high school that sends students to the Tech Center. But even though we're the smallest school that sends students, we have 71 kids who are participating in the Tech Center. One of the activities that they have at the Tech Center is what they call a Skilled Olympics, which means the students who are the best in that particular area get to participate at the State Skilled Olympics. Even though we're the smallest school, we had the most kids participate. We had 16 out of our 71 kids were chosen to participate. So roughly 23% of our kids. And just to give you an idea of some of the activities that they participated in: photography, technical math, mobile robotics, CNC technician, precision machining, video production, nurse assistant, residential wiring, digital cinema, and automotive service technology. So we have a very talented group of students. Things are going very well. Knock on wood. Just want to share some good news with you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Might I add, Peter, before you leave, going to some of the meetings, I just want to say that the school right now has their plate full. Not only are you dealing with the regular classroom and the regular school issues, you've got a construction program that is happening, one in the midst of that, and the resources it takes, and plus you're also planning for in the fall, the actual conversion of moving, the logistics of moving and figuring all of that out. And after looking at it and observing some of the workload that your people are going through, I just want to thank you for, and in all of that, all the most prominent thing is that you thinking about how it affects the kids, how it affects them. So I'd like to thank you and your staff over there for the work that you're doing to make this possible. I know it's been quite an effort and stuff, so.
Yeah, I would like to add to that as well. When I was in the meeting, Shelley had something very specific she wanted to say, and she was very firm about it and kind of like, this is how it needs to be. So she's not afraid to speak up when there's an issue or she sees something that's wrong, because she really takes pride in all of the buildings and how everything goes. So I really appreciate her in the meeting. So please tell her that.
Thank you.
What time's your meeting?
1
6?
o'clock.
Huh? 1?
1 o'clock, yep.
School board?
Oh, the school
No,
board,
the
I'm
school
sorry.
board
School
meeting
board,
is
6
6.
o'clock.
That's the 27th.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
The committee meeting's at 1 o'clock then?
Yeah.
1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Jerry was curious about the school board meeting.
Where is the school board meeting held?
It's the junior high school
Library.
Library.
Still
Okay,
meeting.
that's what
Yep.
I thought. Okay.
Thank you.
Any other public comment? People want to comment from the public? Gary?
Gary Owen, 28 Whipple Street. I have a question. Is there an update on the junior high and what's going to happen to that building? I happen to be on that committee. I know we discussed this at the last council meeting, and I understand that Katie Cap is involved, or is that correct still, or I'm through the chair to Mike.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, if I may. Yes, KV Cap is still involved. They're gonna be meeting out there, maybe next week. They're gonna bring an architect, and Shelley's gonna take the architect and the representative from KV Cap to various locations within the building. They want a second look before they take the next step forward.
That's why we're not haven't had another meeting.
Right.
Okay, so it's still up in the air as to whether they're interested or what. I'm just trying to get a feel for where they're headed.
If they're interested, I think they're, with the architect, I think they're trying to scope out, figure out what the scope of the project might be for them.
Right.
If they were to.
And the property would be transferred to them? Is that the plan?
Well, that would be up to the town, it's up to the town council. So, when KV Cap comes back with a proposal, I'll bring the committee together.
Yeah.
The committee will review it, probably ask questions. I'll ask the committee to make a recommendation to the town council. Committee may say yea or nay. I'll then bring that back to the town council, and the council will have an opportunity to see what KV Cap is proposing and make a decision about whether they want to accept it or have some other conditions put on it, or.
So the timeline looks to be March? Is that what we're?
I don't know. I don't know if it, I don't know KV Caps. I know they have an approval process and a board, and so I don't know if it's going to be March would be the time that would happen. But things are moving forward, and.
All right, thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I agree with what he was saying. My concern on that is we don't want to get out of that, leave it vacant for any length of time. So the quicker we can move on this and come up with a decision, I think the better off we're gonna be.
Yeah, and that'll be KV Cap's
Yes, I know.
timeline, and, but we're cooperating with them, communicating with them, encouraging them. So I'm hopeful that this next go-around with the architect will move the ball a little further down the field for us.
So basically, it's all in KV Cap's hands.
Yes. Yes.
Because I remember at the committee meeting, you know, it depends on how they want to do it. Is the parking thing was a big thing that we discussed. You know, how many parking spots do they want to take away from the high school, from the football field, you know, and all this. So these are all things we got to put together.
I think that there's plenty of parking.
Yeah. Probably until they come back to us with the scope of the project, and then, you know, once we know the number of units and
exactly, that's what I'm saying.
You know, what the needs are going to be, then we can start trying to figure out whether it's adequate for that or not.
Are they looking at that would be not housing, or are they looking at for office space or relocate from what they're doing, or what would be have they indicated what the functionality of the structure would be?
Yes. So last time I spoke with them, they're primarily focused on housing.
Yeah.
Housing.
Yeah.
Senior housing, am I correct?
They didn't use the term senior housing, but 55 or older.
Yes. Senior housing.
Would,
Yeah.
and I know this is a little off discussion, but are you going to go with the engineer? Were you going to tour with Shelley and the engineer?
Yes.
Were you? Okay. Would it be possible maybe to have somebody from the building committee also go with you for a second, just for information for the building committee? I know you don't want like this entourage, you know what I mean, going through the building, but would it be prudent for one of the building committee members to go, to keep it small, but yet? I understand what the issues are.
My concern would be is once we start inviting people, and someone might say, well, why wasn't I invited?
Yeah.
This is a preliminary.
Yeah.
I wouldn't complicate it.
Okay.
I do intend to be there in case they have questions. But I would say let's let them go and do their assessment unobstructed.
Yeah.
And I'll be there if they have any questions, and we'll see where it goes.
Okay.
I would agree with you.
Okay. I just want to be inclusive.
Seems to me to be the best way. You don't want to get involved outside till you know what they're thinking.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that would only make sense.
Yeah. Fine. That's fine. I just brought it to topic. Sounds good. As long as you're going to be there, that's fine. And that'll be fine.
Make the motion, we adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor? All those opposed?